Hi, it's Ronnie. I've always wondered why you don't really see any advertising about fruits and vegetables, and maybe in your country it's different, but in the UK there's really not very much advertisements ever about the benefits of fruits and vegetables, and especially the benefits when it comes to how it can improve your life or how it can help to eliminate disease and stuff like that if you're eating more fruit. So I always thought, why aren't they doing that, and why aren't they putting adverts with some of the athletes and stuff that eat high fruit diets and stuff like that? And that kind of confused me for a while. But then I came across this information, and this was in quite an old book called Scientific Advertising by Claude Hopkins. And in that book he basically talks about the idea that, let's say, one banana company puts out advertising about how good bananas are, then what tends to happen, or so I've been told, so that book says, is that specific company, what will happen is basically all the banana companies will benefit out of that advert. So if you're like Dole bananas and you say, oh, bananas are amazing and athletes eat them and everything, then all the other banana companies will will benefit at the same time. And therefore it's sort of a bit of a waste of money, because you're not getting maybe the return that you want, or however it works, So I kind of thought that was interesting, and then that made me think about Monsanto and what they're doing and GMO, and it made me realise that there's a weird, I guess it's not really a positive side effect, but if what Monsanto are trying to do is basically be able to create a patent over a natural food by using genetic modification, creating like a papaya or a banana or a pineapple that they own the rights to. Then, like, you can own the right to an invention or something, and then anyone who ever grew that or sold it would then have to pay them a royalty on it. So it's completely different to like the way that it happens now, where anyone can grow bananas and sell them, if they've got the land and all the rest of it and the licenses. But so if you say, oh, Cavendish bananas are amazing, then everyone who grows them benefits, and you've sort of put all this money into helping all your competitors out. But Monsanto are trying to do this thing where they're creating fruit and stuff that and food that they can then benefit from directly, because then they can, I'm assuming that they can then say, oh, you should get the Monsanto papaya or whatever. They wouldn't call it that because that's you've got such a bad name, I guess, but you've got the such and such papaya, this is the best papaya and all the rest of it. And then they would benefit directly from that, because no one else would be able to sell that without them making like a royalty or some money out of it. So that was an interesting thing that went through my mind. I don't know if that's the kind of thing that you might think about, but is it a potential benefit to what Monsanto are trying to do, that it would mean that there would be a profitable way for a company like that to actually promote fruit and vegetables? I don't know, but it kind of brings me back to this lifestyle and everything else. And there's a lot of people within the raw vegan kind of community that are maybe making a portion of their income, or the entirety of their income, from YouTube and from YouTube advertising. And that's not me, by the way. I don't have enough views and everything, but it's funny because people sort of the argument has been like, oh, we get these big corporations and they're paying us money through YouTube, and we're taking that money and promoting the vegan or the high carb lifestyle, the fruit based lifestyle or whatever. But it doesn't really work that way. It sort of works the other way, where you're helping that company to get its stuff in front of people, and they're benefiting out of it. and they wouldn't be advertising on your channel or on YouTube if they didn't know for sure that they were getting a benefit out of it, if they didn't know for sure they were getting a return on that investment. So really, you're still just helping the companies to make more money, whether it's McDonald's or some paleo guy or whatever it is. I don't know what comes up in your advertising. It sort of depends. And it's funny, like, people really don't like Facebook and YouTube and all these types of advertising, and they think it's really evil, but it's just that it's just that they're trying to get their message in front of people that are interested in what they're doing. But I don't know, it's a whole discussion for another time. So my sort of thoughts on all this, to get back to this, is I would love to create a profitable way, and it's the only way you could do it is if you do it in a profitable way, of getting this sort of message out there. And that's where our creative minds have to come into play, because if it would probably be through selling information, through selling a book, through selling a course, an event, or something like that. But if you could find a way that you could put an advertisement and pay for a large advertisement, say in your city's newspaper that reaches 1 million people or a couple 100,000 people, or Google ads or Facebook ads or whatever, or the newspaper or radio, if you could find a way that you could put that, you could make an advertisement, you could make it so good and so compelling that people would then be driven to buy an ebook or buy something that was related to this sort of lifestyle, and that you could make a profit, even if it was a small profit doing that allowed you to continue to put that advertising out, then that's the real way that this message would be able to be spread, I think. Because then you could continue to grow it, because then you'd know, well, if I'm making a return by doing that small advert in that newspaper, then maybe if I buy a whole page in the newspaper, then I'll make even more return, and then I can buy even bigger advertisements. And you see, this is how I envisioned that it could spread, rather than just like hundreds of people doing YouTube videos. You sort of need to find a profitable way of putting the information out there so that you can spread it more and more. Because if you keep putting your own money and time into doing something and never making a return, it just means that you're having to always fight to use the rest of your time to make the money, to be able to do the thing and cover your life. And eventually you're going to run out of time, or you're going to run out of money, eventually. So you have to make some kind of profit out of it. This is the system we're working under, or however you want to put it. So it's about getting thoughts and ideas together. I think the fact that it reverses disease, and I think this is the most powerful information out there. There's been books for years that were sold in newspapers, sold in magazines, sold over the internet, sold whatever, that promise people weight loss, that promise people reversing disease, that promise people a delicious diet. Here's a dog's just coming up. That promise people all this stuff, but we've got the real answer. There's a dog at my feet right now. Dogs. But we've got the real answer. We've got the good information. So we've got to find the good and smart information. And if you find a way of doing that and making a living out of it, or making a small profit out of it, or a large profit out of it, then good on you. And then everyone can learn how to do it, and then you can do it in every city, in every place. That's just some random thoughts, and I hope you're having a good day. And if you want to connect with me more, you can go to my website. The link's down below, fruityronster.com, and follow what I'm doing there. And please subscribe to this channel and watch for further videos. Let's start a conversation down below. Let me know what you thought about this video, and that's all. Thanks for now. Bye.